My name is Guat. I am here to share my experience as a child war slave from when I was 5 years old to 7 years old, and how when I was 7 years old I was killed by one of my officers because I did not obey a direct order immediately. So it all started when I was 5 years old and I was outside my home early in the morning playing in the sand with water. This happened in Bosnia, and I was playing outside, and I remember it was very hot and no one else was at home because they were all working. And as I was playing, I heard a big car coming, a very big car, and I looked up and it was one of those big army cars, army trucks, and there were 4 men inside with guns, and I heard children crying inside. 2 men jumped out and they had their army pants and these black shirts and the army boots, and they had their guns, big ones. They had black sunglasses, and I remember their teeth that was yellow and dirty, and they had scars on their arms and on their faces. They had the red bands over their heads, and 2 of the men came running after me, and I tried to run away, but I was 5 years old and they were grown-up men, and so they caught me and they threw me in the back of the truck, and there were a few other children there also crying, and they said to me that they were also kidnapped. They were taken from their families from all over, and I asked where were we going, and they said they didn't know, and they were all 5, 6 years old, 7, there was one that was 9, and we drove very far. I didn't cry. I cried a bit. I was very afraid because I did not know if I will ever see my parents again, but I knew I had to be strong for me and not let me cry. And then we came to this place where we were thrown out of the truck onto muddy, dirty ground, and there were trees all over, and there were tents with these metal beds inside them, and there were other children that we saw that had guns and that had also the red band, that had scars on their arms and their faces, and their eyes were big like that. Crazy. they looked crazy, just like crazy, with these guns pointed at us. And some of the children became afraid because there were some gun shootings and fires, and the men there were dancing and drunk, shooting up in the air. And one of the girls that was also captured started crying, and the one man shot her because she cried. And I still had tears rolling down my eyes, but I didn't cry, they just rolled down. And I remember I stood up like that, and I just looked forward, and we looked really terrible and horrible, because we were hungry and we were cold and dirty and feeling very weak. And then they took us to the tents, to the metal beds, and they put this ointment, something on under our noses, in our mouths, under here and up there, in our genital areas, in our bum, by the ears and by the eyes. And what happened then is that everything stands still inside of you. You feel you have a body, but you stop inside you, and it's like you're completely empty inside of you. And the moment someone speaks a word, the word is put inside you, and that's the only word that is there. So when everything stopped inside me and I felt empty inside of me, like something can be put inside me, the one man came and sat on top of me and looked me in the eyes, and he started speaking these words. Now, I can't remember them exactly, but they'd put words inside my head that they'd speak or show, and then it's one word and then a meaning of a word, and they'd speak it and speak it and speak it, and then I can really feel the words and the meaning of the words coming inside of me, and it's literally, I can even see it being stuck inside my head. And then I dozed off, and when I woke up again, they'd, for instance, speak one word, and then we'd do a particular action of what that word means. For instance, they once spoke a word, and what I did was I shot another child. This was when I was 6 years old. I shot another child just when they spoke one word. A few words as different actions which you do automatically, because that's how they put the stuff inside of you. So I shot another child, and then when I was 7, that's when one day they put too much stuff for me inside here. They do that every day, and I couldn't stand up, and they asked me to fetch water, and I couldn't. So the officer got angry and he slit my throat. I will carry on in the next interview. Thank you.